Imagine glancing at a world map and suddenly realizing that the way you've always pictured the planet in your head might be completely skewed. Does that make your head spin? That's the startling truth behind a fascinating new study that reveals our mental images of the globe often defy the distortions we see on classroom walls. And trust me, this isn't just about geography geeks. It's a revelation that could change how we all think about maps, power, and even global perceptions. But here's where it gets controversial. What if the maps we've grown up with are subtly reinforcing biases? Stick around because we're about to dive deep into the science and the surprises that challenge everything you thought you knew. Picture this. Nearly 100,000 people from every corner of the Earth dove into an online map game, where they were tasked with sizing up land areas by eyeballing comparisons. Think of it like a friendly competition to judge whether Africa dwarfs Europe or if Canada truly outpaces India. These are the debates that get heated at dinner tables everywhere. What they uncovered was eye-opening. Most folks' internal visions of our planet align more closely with the real, spherical Earth than with the warped versions plastered on classroom walls. And this is the part most people miss. It probes a decades-old riddle in geography, questioning if everyday world maps silently mold our understanding of the planet's layout. Now, let's chat about why maps can play tricks on our brains. This groundbreaking work was spearheaded by Lieselot Lépon, a cartographer at Ghent University in Belgium, whose passion lies in unraveling how we decode maps and construct mental blueprints of the world. Here's a quick primer for beginners. Every flat map of the world relies on something called a map projection, a clever mathematical trick that flattens the Earth's curved surface into a neat rectangle or other shape. But it's not magic. Projections always sacrifice something. Whether it's accurate land sizes, true distances, precise directions, or the shapes of continents and countries, distortion is inevitable. Take the iconic Mercator projection, which keeps compass directions spot on but balloons high-latitude areas like Greenland and Canada, making them look enormous. Critics have long argued that this exaggeration fuels a Eurocentric worldview, where Europe and North America appear disproportionately powerful and dominant, almost like they're hogging the spotlight on the global stage. And don't get me started on online maps. Many platforms use Web Mercator, a speedy variant for digital navigation that even more dramatically inflates lands near the poles. Cartographers have meticulously analyzed this in studies, cautioning that it can confuse users trying to compare real estate, like plotting travel routes or assessing land values. Shifting gears to our brain's own map projections. The study had volunteers on screen comparing two regions and tweaking one to match their gut feeling of proportionality. Each participant tackled 10 such comparisons before sharing details on their education, age, and how often they use maps in daily life. The experiment spanned 8 languages with a vibrant, user-friendly interface to keep the focus on the task, not tech glitches. These choices aim to tap into each person's cognitive map, an internal GPS of sorts that guides our sense of where places are and how they stack up in size. Afterward, participants picked the world map style that felt most familiar, from classroom staples like Mercator, Gall-Peters, Mollweide, and Robinson, or even a no-idea option. It's worth noting that mapping tech is evolving. For instance, Google Maps swapped its desktop global view from a flat map to a 3D globe, signaling a shift toward more immersive representations. So, what did the results unveil? When the team cross-referenced answers with various projections, they found that people's estimates mirrored the actual globe's areas far better than any flat map. As Lépon put it, evidence indicates that knowledge of the world is influenced by map projections. Surprisingly, high-latitude spots weren't consistently overestimated against equatorial ones, meaning the notorious Mercator distortion didn't dominate as expected. This echoes prior research with university students but on a much grander, more diverse scale. Diving into continents, Europe often got a size boost in estimations, while Africa and Asia stayed truer to reality. For countries, smaller ones tended to be puffed up more than giants, mirroring a classic study on memory biases for sizes. They even tested how projections affect accuracy by displaying continents and northern nations in styles like Mercator, Gall-Peters, and others. Interestingly, the Lambert conformal conic projection, which maintains shapes across latitudes, still produced more errors than the well-known Mercator, food for thought on what truly aids comprehension. Why does sticking with familiar, balanced maps make a difference? The survey's question on everyday map exposure proved incredibly revealing. In regions where folks commonly selected the Robinson projection, the one often hailed as a fair compromise for balance, average errors in area judgments dropped noticeably. This aligns with research showing Robinson maps feel less distorted to users than alternatives. For example, in one school-based survey, students trained in projections leaned less on mirror shapes when evaluating map reliability. Ultimately, national curricula, textbook selections, and default online map settings shape which projections we encounter most, subtly influencing our mental snapshots. The findings suggest that favoring equitable maps can lead to sharper, more precise internal images of continental scales. Conversely, in places where Mercator reigned supreme as the go-to map, bigger mistakes cropped up, hinting that true education on projections, beyond just changing the poster on the wall, fosters a sense of equity among locations. But here's where it gets controversial. Is it fair to say Mercator is inherently biased, or is it just a tool that's been misused? And does prioritizing balanced projections risk overlooking their own distortions? The takeaways from this map projection saga are profound. We're not mindless photocopies of our classroom atlases. Our cognitive maps weave in threads from education, media, personal adventures, and logical deductions, like assuming a nation with billions of inhabitants must be vast. For educators and storytellers in journalism, projection choices remain crucial, but swapping to any equal area map isn't a cure-all. Intriguingly, participants sized up continents more accurately under the familiar Mercator than the elongated Gall-Peters, which preserves true sizes. The key? Teach students to dissect maps. What do they get right, what do they warp, and whose perspective do they amplify? If we normalize these discussions in geography classes, the next generation could emerge with mental maps that are not only precise but also critically aware. The study appears in ISPRS International Journal of Geo-Information, https://www.mdpi.com/2220-9/64/9/4/196. Enjoyed this deep dive? Sign up for our newsletter, https://www.earth.com/subscribe, to get more captivating articles, exclusive insights, and the freshest updates delivered straight to your inbox. Don't forget to check out EarthSnap, https://www.earth.com/earthsnap, a complimentary app crafted by Eric Rawls, https://www.earth.com/author/erawls, and earth.com. What are your thoughts? Do you think Mercator maps have unfairly shaped global perceptions? Or is the issue overstated? Should schools ditch them for alternatives like Gall-Peters, even if it means learning new distortions? Share your opinions in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take on this divisive topic.